Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Halloween edition of Why Wasn't It Better? I'm your host, Patrick Darms.
And I'm your co-host, Anton Paras.
He's back. I'm not just talking about our guest, Sean O'Connor. I'm talking about Michael Myers. He's back. And Sean is our guest today. Sean, welcome back.
I'm just ready for a good old spooky time. You're here as the returning Michael Myers guest.
Yeah, our returning very spooky expert themed guest. Let's go with that.
I want to sit here and say it's been a slog, but it really hasn't. I've been enjoying all these Halloween movies, rewatching them over. It's been fun. It's been a good time.
They are fun. And I want to ask a question right out the gate because you mentioned a spooky time. Did any part of this movie scare you?
I remember watching it as a kid, being somewhat frightened about Michael Myers. I can't say that I had that same fright watching it as a 34-year-old individual.
That's fair.
This was on TV a lot. It really was. This brought back a lot of memories. I hadn't seen this one in a while. This was fun. Anton, just to get some admin out of the way before we really get into this, as always, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you are new to the podcast, please hit that follow button or subscribe. Every follower matters. You know, we encourage you to leave comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or watching/listening on Spotify. You could follow us on, the social medias. We're on Instagram, we're on X, and best of all, we recently started a Letterboxd account where you can see our full list of films that we intend to cover. We encourage you to follow us there and interact however you may choose to do. Links to all of those are in the description. And if you really like what we're doing and you want to help keep the mics on, head over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/WWIB podcast. And you can support us directly there by subscribing. There are a few different levels of patron access that you can get. But at the bottom level, you're going to get access to episodes a full week early and ad-free, plus access to some bonus content at higher tiers.
If you're not subscribing at this point, you're not smashing that like button, smashing that subscribe button. What are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? You're here listening to Halloween 4 and you're not hitting that subscribe button. I mean, come on, just do it. Just do it.
Thank you for the endorsement, Sean.
We appreciate it.
And you know what, listeners, if you do end up being a patron at the highest tier, there's actually an opportunity to vote for what objects Pat and I will joust with on bicycles. So make sure to opt in, and please, all the support is appreciated.
And the only way to find out if that is true is to become a patron. So
I would probably go with the classic broom to joust with. What about yourself, Pat?
It's some gardening tool. Perhaps something that Michael Myers would use?
Like using a shotgun as like a sword?
Exactly.
Impaling the sex appeal of the movie with the shotgun barrel.
Yeah, you think he's going to shoot her. No, Michael Myers doesn't do that.
No, that's way too conventional.
He gets shot. He doesn't shoot anyone. Gets shot a lot in this movie.
And he also disappears from bullet fire. He just teleports at the same time.
He does apparently have the ability to teleport. I forgot about that. It's a good call out. I had to rewind it, actually. I was like, wait, did he just teleport? No! Oh, Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis is back, too. I don't even have an intro, an episode intro written down for this. I just wrote he's back with a lot of A's in the word back. He's back. Yeah. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, was released on October 21st, 1988 by Trancas International. It was directed by Dwight H. Little. The screenplay was written by Alan B. McElroy, with story credits for Donnie Lipsius, Larry Ratner, Benjamin Ruffner, and Alan B. McElroy, based on characters created by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, starring Donald Pleasance, Ellie Cornell, Danielle Harris, Michael Pataki, and no one else. The budget was $5 million. That is $13 million adjusted for inflation. And the box office was $17.8 million. That is $47 million adjusted for inflation. This has a 39% Rotten Tomato score. Sean, it's kind of a given at this point. You didn't choose to be on this episode. This episode chose you. You are our Halloween guest at this point. It is a tradition.
Sometimes I feel like I have the curse of Michael Myers. I know that's not until the 6th installment, but I do feel like I've been cursed, but in the best way possible with this Michael Myers series. I will say, sometimes Rotten Tomatoes a little bit misleading, a little bit deceiving. I would say that this has a stronger user score on IMDb than it does on, let's say, critic score. This is one of those movies that becomes more of like a cult classic type of film more than anything else. So I'm excited to be here and talk about it.
We're excited to have you. And I debated whether or not to even read the Rotten Tomato score because at this point, first of all, for a horror movie and the fourth entry in this horror series, does the Rotten Tomato score even matter? Not at all.
No, it's I think that there will always be these exceptions or just that lens that you need to take with a film's quality versus a film's enjoyment. Ooh, am I hinting at something?
Oh, I'm not going to hide my opinion right now. I just want to say I apologize for my comments I made about this film on the Halloween 3 recording a year ago. I spoke too harshly. This movie's so much fun.
I agree.
I was also harsh on this film.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I agree. I like I said, I don't know if we were recording at the time, but I think I confused this with the other installment with Paul Rudd, which I believe is the sixth one. This one wasn't as bad as I remembered it. It was a good time. So yeah, I think we owe it a little apology. We're sorry.
We should apologize to Dwight H. Little, the director. Dwight, I'm sure you're listening right now. You did good work here.
And I mean, look at that too. I mean, $5 million pulling in 17.8. It's 13 to 14.
Not bad.
Even after a horrible movie like Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, people still came out to see it. So people were excited to get Michael Myers back.
People like Halloween 3. We got some feedback on that because all of us were pretty harsh on it. Although we enjoyed it, a lot of people defend that movie. It has a real following, for sure. I stand by the fact I think it's a bad movie. I liked watching it, but it's a bad movie.
Yeah, but I can see why people go back to that movie every Halloween. It's all of the fun aesthetics of it. And in that same sense, hey, enjoyment's enjoyment. And I feel like this film itself has quite a bit of enjoyment.
What was the Halloween franchise like going into 1988? If you were a fan, you probably thought it was dead after Halloween 3. Because Michael Myers dies at the end of Halloween 2, which is pretty hilarious when we talk about the plot of this movie. Dr. Loomis dies as well at the end of Halloween 2. And then the franchise gives us, I would say, one of the most bizarre sequels of all time with Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Nobody really liked it at the time. It certainly has a cult following now. I was trying to compare the slasher franchises of the 80s, right, to Halloween. You would have thought Halloween was dead at this point. Friday the 13th was thriving. It was on like the 6th or 7th film by 1988.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street took off in 1984. They were pumping out a sequel annually, so there were already 4 of them by the time this film came out too. And then producer Mustafa Akkad, who took over this after he bought out Carpenter and Hill, he was like, not so fast. They gave people what they wanted. They bring Michael Myers back. This is, I guess, technically a direct sequel to Halloween 2. It completely ignores Halloween 3 as far as we know. Is this one of the most shameless run-it-back sequels you've ever seen?
It's definitely a contender. Is there? So you say it's not connected to Halloween 3, but there's nothing necessarily in Halloween 3 that doesn't say it could be set in the same universe.
Counterpoint: they are watching Halloween at the bar in Halloween 3.
That could be a made-for-TV bioseries,
like a documentary.
Yeah, like, oh, what the Michael Myers? What happened in that
footage from the Laurie Strode house?
What happened? Shocking! 10 years ago.
Well, Pat, I think I don't know if it's the most shameless. To answer your question, I don't know if it's the most shameless run-it-back sequel ever. However,
it's up there.
The director.
No, that would be Rambo 3.
Yeah,
Jaws 2.
The director saw. I think you just hit the nail on the head. Friday the 13th had about 7 installments. They were cranking out one a year. Nightmare on Elm Street was at number 4. Chucky was coming out of the woodworks now, right? I think
that's right. Child's Play was the same year as this, 88.
So I think what they were saying is you can literally just copy and paste these movies. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street is almost exactly the same every single movie for the first however many. Same with Friday the 13th. I mean, they put Jason in different settings. Jason goes to Manhattan. He goes to hell. He goes to Crystal Lake a few times. Then you get the Leprechaun.
Space.
right? Leprechaun goes to the hood. He kills a few people in some of his installments. So, I mean, I think they realize, hey, let's go back to basics. Let's just tweak it a little bit, but let's keep our same core components of a good meal, and let's see what we can do. And they're still really doing it today. But they went back to, I think, what made them great.
Well, they absolutely gave people what they wanted. Nobody was happy with Halloween 3 at the time.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, why would they do this? I was thinking about this. Unless you were a serious Carpenter fan at this point, would anyone have even remembered that Michael Myers dies at the end of the second one? Probably not, right?
No, I think it's a safe bet to return back to like what people want. Now, quality, of course, I think the film critic in me says you just shouldn't have touched the series then, just because what story are you going to tell? Because then otherwise, if you're trying to, quote unquote, give the people what they want, that's how you do Force Awakens.
Right. They thought they had a new story here, because this is the first of what's known as the Thorn trilogy that would be continued in Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. For whatever reason, it is not called Halloween 6, even though it is Halloween 6. And then something else I was trying to figure out, and I couldn't find an answer for this. They dropped the Roman numerals. Maybe they figured people would get confused by the Roman numeral 4, but this was just the Arabic numeral 4.
They were.
Do you think maybe
they were
Friday the 13th was doing Roman numerals, so they didn't want to?
No,
do similar?
it was the same era of WrestleManias having Roman numerals, so that they couldn't do the same thing.
But Halloween 2 and 3 use Roman numerals. Riddle me that.
Is Muhammad alive? We should ask.
He is
Or
not.
Mustafa.
He actually was killed. He was actually killed in a terrorist attack.
That
Yes.
sucks.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. In I think 2005 or something like that. It was like one of the Al Qaeda attacks. Really tragic.
That's really random. Wow.
Yeah. Bad way to go.
On a side note, not to go off on a tangent, but man, what a great era of just slasher movies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees. What a run, man. We'll never have something like that in modern horror.
Yeah, there's really nothing today that has created quite the same. I mean, one could argue like the Conjuring series, that or like, but no like villain made for the franchise that's iconic.
That's like the face of the franchise, essentially.
Right.
Well, I mean, Sean, I'm glad you mentioned this. I was going to bring this up later, but we might as well do it now. This was just 1988. Halloween 4, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, The First Child's Play, Poltergeist 3, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, Hellraiser 2, Fright Night Part 2, Lair of the White Worm, The Serpent and the Rainbow, and then the Blob remake. That's just 1988.
I mean,
those aren't all good, but
we're missing some other great classics like Beetlejuice.
I mean, it's not really a horror movie, but
A Fish Called Wanda, Twins.
Well, I mean, if you want to
The
extend
Land Before
this,
Time,
yes, that's true.
Mississippi Burning,
Rain Man,
Working Girl,
Die Hard, Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Bloodsport.
Sports 81 too. How much cocaine did what's his name do in that movie?
Jean-Claude Gosh Darn.
Yeah.
Joyce CVD.
A lot of cocaine is the answer.
A lot.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it.
He did whatever was put in front of him, Sean.
Whatever the movie called for.
Rewatching this Halloween 4, I realized this was on TV a lot in the 90s. Or at least I just saw it on TV a lot in the 90s. I saw a lot of like snippets from it.
What channel was it on? Because I feel like I remember seeing it too. Like, who would play these movies back in the day?
Anton and I talked about this. I think it was AMC.
AMC. Yeah.
AMC, that was going to be my guess too.
But we also talked about, Anton, we think they skipped Halloween 3 a lot of the time. They would just do 1, 2, 4, which, I mean, makes sense. Without further ado, Anton, why don't you begin the production history for this?
So after the box office disappointment of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, executive producer Mustafa Akkad wanted to move further with the series and bring back Michael Myers. Producer Paul Freeman, a friend of Akkad, explained to Fangoria magazine in 1988 that everybody came out of Halloween 3 saying, "Where's Michael?" They even tried to get John Carpenter back, asking him to write and direct, with his partner Deborah Hill intended as producer. Carpenter was surprisingly receptive, collaborating with writer Dennis Etchinson. But Akkad rejected their script, calling it, quote, too cerebral. He insisted that any sequel must feature Myers as the killer. It was at this point that Carpenter and Hill sold all the rights away to Akkad. Now in total control, Akkad commissioned a new screenplay, hiring Alan B. McElroy to write it, and hired Dwight H. Little to direct the film. Because the writer's strike was set to begin on March 7th, 1988, McElroy was forced to develop a concept, pitch the story, and send in the final draft in under 11 days. The screenplay references the events of Halloween 2, in which a fire breaks out in Haddonfield Hospital, by having both Myers and Loomis display burn scars on their respective hands and faces. As the sole returning cast member, Donald Pleasance was, quote, committed conceptually to returning as Dr. Loomis, but did not sign on to the project until having read a finished screenplay. Melissa Joan Hart had auditioned for the role of Jamie, among various other girls, before Danielle Harris won the part. Principal photography began in April 1988. Instead of filming in Pasadena, Los Angeles, the production moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, in order to save money.
Because they were filming during springtime, the producers were forced to import leaves and big squashes, which they would use to create pumpkins by painting them orange. George P. Wilbur, who was cast as Michael Myers, wore hockey pads under the costume to make himself more physically imposing. We're going to talk about this later, Sean, but it's like, why wouldn't they just hire a bigger actor? Like, this never made sense to me. The hockey pads are laughably visible underneath his suit, especially watching this in HD is not kind to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially, it's not like you need this person to be some sort of dynamic actor with range. They just need to look imposing and walk. So why do you need to...
I don't know. I mean, they were filming in Salt Lake City. Karl Malone must have been available. I don't get it.
It's a good one.
The film features a different Michael Myers mask. Boy, does it. The director didn't like how the new one looked, so it was customized again, but it didn't live up to the original, and the producers felt it was too old and went for a new mask, so some scenes had to be reshot with the new mask. Well, they didn't reshoot all of them, I can tell you that.
We got our first glimpse of albino Myers, all white.
Oh, you mean the blonde hair Myers in a couple shots? Yeah, a couple shots.
Did either of you guys see the new video game sneak peek on IGN for Halloween?
Survivor?
Yeah.
Survival
Yeah,
horror?
It's Survivor horror. Yeah.
Ooh.
Pretty timely, but I hope that they have albino Michael Myers as one of the skins.
A little lore there for all the true fans of the series.
Yeah.
The late night scenes caused issues with the cast. Garland Wild, a gaffer for the film, was injured during the scene between Brady and the Shape when he dropped a light and accidentally slit his wrists. He was rushed to the hospital. In addition, while filming the rooftop scene, Ellie Cornell cut her stomach open on a large nail while sliding down the roof, although she continued filming the scene despite losing a lot of blood. Wow. During most of the night scenes, Donald Pleasance became so cold that he wore a hat for most of the scenes. Unbeknownst to the crew, this caused over 6 hours of footage to be reshot. The shoot lasted about 41 days, and Ellie Cornell and Danielle Harris were required to be on set for 36 of those days.
Shout out Ellie Cornell for really toughing that one out. I mean, that's pretty intense. To cut your stomach open with a rusty nail and just kind of...
That sounds awful.
That sounds so painful.
After viewing the rough cut, director Dwight Little and Akkad decided that the film's violence was too soft, so an extra day of blood filming commenced. It's time to talk why wasn't it better. I teased this first reason before, but this is one of the biggest offenders of the Run It Back sequel. This series was DOA after Halloween 3, and they had no idea what to do with it. It really did derail the franchise. I know Halloween 3 has its fans now, but this is one of the biggest course corrections a film series has ever gotten.
I think it's really tough to see how the series got railroaded after the first film, because I don't think you're ever going to meet the same quality of the first film. That literally is lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, they could have taken a risk with another one of John Carpenter's anthology ideas, but it's obviously Akkad wasn't willing to do that. The fans wanted Michael Myers back. Akkad wanted Michael Myers back. And I have to say, in 1988, it was the right move.
For sure. And I mean, compare it to Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Friday the 13th 4, whatever the heck they're called. Probably pretty comparable, right? Quality-wise. as far as just kind of copying the same formula, it's probably in line with that. So it's definitely not as great as the first two were, but I think it did what it kind of needed to do to revitalize the franchise a little bit after three. So I think it did accomplish that goal.
It did. Yeah, it did. Anton, I wanted your thoughts on something. So obviously this didn't do well with critics. Who cares? It's not that kind of movie. It was allegedly enough of a financial success that it revitalized the series. But if you look at the box office performance of this, it really made about the same as Halloween 3. But that film was considered a failure. But I think it just goes to show, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't just about the money, it was about the fan reception.
That makes sense to me because fan reception and just keeping the series alive with what will keep the fans coming back. We can't think of it just as films. There's also merchandise, video games. We just talked about the video games, but that was a huge time, and there is the Halloween video games.
And another big thing that had changed dramatically since the third film came out in 1982, home video sales were now a major source of income by 1988. So that was a part of it too.
If any listeners are wondering what the best Halloween video game is, it's probably the video game Splatterhouse, not officially Halloween or what what you would typically expect of Michael Myers, but it's very fun.
I didn't even realize there were video games.
Oh yeah, I think the last official one though was released in 1985. I want to say.
Okay, so it's been a while. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Here's my question for you both. Did they even need to resurrect Michael Myers? Could it have just been a copycat killer? Same mask? What difference does it make?
I mean, don't they just do that with Jurassic Park series? It's like, well, it's not going to be a T-Rex, but it's kind of going to be a T-Rex.
There's another island. It's not the same island, a new island.
Or Terminator, it's going to be a different killer robot.
Right.
This time it's a woman.
Yeah, this whole concept, Sean, of the Michael somehow survived the events of Halloween 2, and he's coming back after another member of his family. It's like, why?
Yeah, well, this one, watching Halloween 4 got me thinking ahead because there's so many different storylines, and it's hard to keep track of what each storyline, like how they presented the relationship between Michael and Laurie and what Michael Myers actually was. Sometimes he's just a man. Other times I'm pretty sure he's a demon. So I and then so I know 4, 5, and 6 are connected, but then 1 and 2 are connected to 7. I don't know where 8 ties in. So they're all connected in different ways, and they all have their different kind of lore in it for who Michael Myers is. I think what they were trying to do with this one is make Michael Myers this unstoppable force that just he's superhuman, right? He's supernatural a little bit. Maybe they don't say it yet, but I'm pretty sure. And I need to rewatch 5 and 6, but I'm pretty sure they start going down that route where he is just not of this world. He's something else.
Well, at this point, how many Nightmare on Elm Streets were there? Like 5?
4.
There were 4.
Yeah.
And then how many Friday the 13th were there at
7.
this point? Yeah, so easily you look at that and you think to yourself, well, we have an iconic movie villain. We can do that.
And I think given the fact that McElroy had about, 11 days to write a script, they at least came up with something semi-original, Sean, by having the evil infect Jamie at the end of this movie. I mean, in some ways it's laughable, but like at least they tried something different.
I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if I'm in the minority there. It was kind of cool. And again, I think they're going down that route of Michael Myers isn't of this world. He's something different. So not only is he bad, but his blood is bad, right? And his niece, Jamie, has the blood of Michael Myers in her. So she will turn into something bad, right? I thought it was kind of cool. Was it executed well in the next couple of movies? No. But at least they were trying something different to keep it fresh. So yeah, I actually did enjoy that piece of it.
I mean, I'll take any original idea, but man, did they really have to just throw Jamie Lee Curtis under the bus like that?
Yeah, she's dead. Her character's dead.
I was going to ask you guys, because you always have the background. Was there some sort of contract dispute, or was she too big time at that point to not want to do this?
I was trying to find it. I couldn't find anything official about contract.
So they said, "Screw you, Jamie Lee Curtis. We're going to kill you in a car accident." Just show your picture and hold it up.
Yeah, pretty much. There's no real reason to do it. It didn't enhance this film's plot. I mean, I agree with you, Sean. I enjoyed the evil infecting Jamie concept that they were going for. I don't know if I enjoyed it for the right reasons that this film wanted me to, because I found it like genuinely hilarious. Like I didn't find it scary, but hey, entertainment is entertainment.
Who knows? Like maybe we didn't see it. Maybe there. Ooh, wait. Here's an idea: a prequel to Halloween. Maybe Michael Myers had a possessed uncle that killed people, and we just didn't learn about him yet. And then he ended up becoming a kid and killing his entire family, just like Jamie did years later.
Don't give them ideas.
Halloween 24.
They'll do it.
The plays of Michael Myers.
Halloween Mischief Night.
The series is not afraid to reference other older films. I mean, they take so much homage even from this film in the Revival series.
But it technically ignores the events of this film, right?
Yeah, it does. But like the straight up the film, like I forget who directed the Revival series that had the Dave Portnoy looking dude and Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. But the scene where they open the scene of Michael coming back by getting a mechanic's uniform and taking out everyone at the gas station. It's like, oh, that seems familiar.
Right. I think the next reason why this wasn't better, we can just get right into the production of this, because this is feeding into what we're talking about with the story. I love bad exposition in these types of movies. And in the first 5 minutes, we get, Jamie, your parents miss you very much. It's been 11 months. Something these people would never say to each other. Just for the audience, I love it.
I didn't realize that this script was put together in that short of an amount of time. But now hearing that, and after watching this movie for the first time in a while, it definitely feels like it was written in 11 days, because some of the dialogue was just so forced. This was before AI, but it really felt to me like this was an AI-created script, because no normal human would actually talk to people the way that they were actually talking to one another. And a lot of them see.
Well, there's script writing classes where they tell you all like the golden rules of script writing, like don't have characters just tell each other the plot. And then whoever writes B horror scripts. Ooh, sorry, did I call this one a B horror? They always just go against the golden rules. It's just try to make it as easy as possible.
Well, I like how there was a nice quick recap on the elevator ride down to pick up Michael Myers in the beginning from the one security guard. Just kind of recapped how he was shot 6 times, burnt alive in an explosion, just to get us back on the same page. Hey, forget about 3. This is what happened in 2. But let's get back into it.
I did enjoy that exposition from the orderly at the hospital, because he was saying funny stuff like, Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place. Like, that stuff's just funny.
Oh, that's super good. Yeah.
Speaking of bad exposition, Anton, which Karate Kid movie is it? Is it the one with Hilary Swank where like her grandmother's like, your parents died in a car crash?
It was that one exactly. The one that people like to forget.
The next Karate Kid?
Yep.
We're going to cover it, right?
I get that. It came out around the same time of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time.
I'll take your word for it, but yes, I'm sure it did.
Can I say something? I've never seen any other movies in the first Karate Kid. I've never seen the other ones.
The second one's good.
Is it?
Anton, I see you about to talk shit on the second one. I will not hear slander on it.
No, I mean, I'll say it. Like, I don't really think you need to watch any other than the first one. I think the first one's perfectly good on its own.
Movie.
I stand by the second one where they go to Okinawa.
Yeah, you can still like it's a good like decent film. I just think the first one's that is the 80s in a bottle.
Yeah. It's fair.
Is Johnny the greatest movie bully ever?
Oh, yeah. Huge jerk.
Right.
Him, Biff.
Yeah, him and Biff, I think, are probably tied. They're at the 1 seeds.
Yeah, they're for sure the 1 seeds. The kids at Jamie's school are probably like kind of more. They're wild card teams, but
screw those kids.
Yeah, they're mean.
So mean.
Jamie's an orphan. Jamie's an orphan.
I couldn't remember if those were the same kids that were just making fun of her for being an orphan, and then she went trick or treating with them. Or were those different kids?
I would hope they're different kids, because then...
I don't think they're different. Do you really think this production spent money on more extras? No. Absolutely not.
There's no reconciliation scene where they apologize for calling her an orphan.
I like to think that she got her revenge because one of the townsfolk that the posse accidentally kill was like one of their parents.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Is that the best? By the way, is that the best part of the film? They're like, "Oh shit, it's Ted Hollister."
It would have been better if I think you have to call back to one of the earlier films, and it's just a random. Maybe it's one of the random cops from Halloween 2, or it's the main character from Halloween 3.
I like how they reference Halloween too, though. How it's a new sheriff, and he's like, "Well, you'd have to you have to find him in Florida if you want to talk to him. He retired."
Oh, the sheriff in Halloween 4 is much more sensible.
He's a great character, Sheriff Meeker. I like him, a man of action. I think his name's Meeker, right?
There was a good I don't know if we talk about it in the script, so if I'm jumping ahead, I'm sorry. There was a good kill count in this movie, though. I will say, not all the kills were on screen, but there were some good kills, especially with all of like the sheriff's department officers.
I
feel like they had some good ones there.
We'll talk about that a little later.
Anyway,
I have thoughts.
All right.
A little bit. I mean, we don't have to go in order. It's fine. I wish you had seen Michael wiping out the cops in the police station, though.
Well, I think if the budget was maybe a little higher.
I was going to say they clearly didn't want to spend money on that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Dr. Loomis's scar? This ever-changing scar.
Just not like the costuming and makeup in this film are very inconsistent.
Do you think it was the fact that they just weren't paying attention, or they didn't care?
Both. Little column A, little column B.
So in the first scene, it looks like an ear on his cheek. You know what I mean? It looks like there's like a pimple thing going on.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep track of how many times the scar changes. Would you say a half dozen?
Easily. I mean, a little more than the mask changing, but yeah. I mean, it was pretty noticeable. But do you think it was that bad back in 1988 when we didn't have HD? Do you think it was that?
Well, I mean, I would say HD is not kind to this film at all. But I mean, there were plenty of films back then that would have gotten this continuity stuff right. They just didn't care. I almost respect this movie more for just not caring about stuff like that. They're like, who cares? Michael Myers is back. We know Donald Pleasance didn't care.
No, but Donald Pleasance maybe had a little bit. Maybe what was it? Maybe did he imbibe a little bit too much? We think
had to be drunk the entire time.
I'm pretty sure he put that one scene in the movie on purpose so he can get a quick drink in, or he just got picked up.
Which scene are you talking about?
And they just start talking about a beast.
Yeah,
and they start drinking together
in the car with that pastor.
Heartfelt.
He was the guy from. He was in Pee Wee Herman's too.
Yep, he was
good eye.
He was singing in that one too.
He was singing in that one. It was a very annoying song. I forget what it was, but he was in that.
The scene early on where Loomis wades into the river to examine the ambulance. So if you notice, like he got. Would you say he goes up to like his waist, just approximately? In the next shot, when he gets out of the river, he's bone dry. Just
no continuity.
No.
And then he walks up the hill. I'm going to Haddonfield. He just hitchhikes his all the way to Haddonfield.
Oh, he is unhinged this whole film. It's great.
It's wonderful.
He's determined, and he's just firing a gun whenever he gets a chance.
I don't know if I remember to write this down. I texted this to you, Anton. His cane use cracks me up in this film because it's in some scenes he's really leaning on the cane to assist him with walking, and it's clear in other shots that Pleasance is just holding the cane, just walking around normally. And then at one point he loses the cane.
It's almost feels like it's a Naked Gun parody where someone just or it even feels like it's just like Will Ferrell. Feel like he can't get out of the wheelchair because he's like, I can't move my legs.
I think as his the entire movie, Loomis has a meter of just hatred of evil or fright of evil, and as that meter increases, his gimp just goes away, right? Because he's just fueled by the hatred of evil.
And then he just starts blasting.
He just takes that gun out, no limp, and just starts shooting into the shrubs.
No one calls him out on that either. They're like, should you have a gun?
Gun experts here. What was he shooting? What was his?
It looked like a Smith & Wesson. Yeah, it looked like a Smith & Wesson.
How big's that magazine?
6.
No, it's probably like a 15.
15. Yeah.
Yeah,
15.
maybe not that much. Maybe
All right,
8.
we didn't do a check. How many times did he reload versus how many times he shot in the film?
I can't imagine anyone checked.
You do not see him reloading.
But everyone else probably watches him reloading. Like, why is this dude actively carrying a gun everywhere?
He doesn't
Aren't
even
you a
have a
doctor?
holster. He just keeps it in the pocket of his jacket. It's so
Like,
irresponsible.
look, it's just think about how unhinged this character is. He's a doctor, and he's just walking around with a gun.
I mean, he walked into a literal police station with a gun, demanding that the sheriffs investigate a case of Michael Myers, and they just listened to him and said, "Sure, all right, let's go over there now."
They do.
They're like, I like what this man has to say.
They make one phone call. They're like, oh, you know what? You might be right. Let's go.
Staying with the production quality, I mean, this goes right in line with Loomis's scar. I mean, the Michael Myers mask, it's very famously clowned on in this movie. It's bad.
Which mask do we want to clown on? It
Uh,
just
I mean, I was trying to keep track of it. I think it changes 2 or 3 times, maybe more.
There's for sure, like, it just changes a lot. We know at least there are for sure multiple masks in the film, because remember there was the Michael wannabes in one scene.
Right. The impersonators, which when it comes to the kills, like, why would you not have Michael killing the impersonators? That's the most low-hanging fruit thing you could put in this movie.
It needs to happen. Like, look, I could write the scene now. One of the Michael impersonators tries to imitate looking in the mirror like Michael would to scare someone. Looks smug at himself, then the real Michael appears and then kills him. There. Look, simple.
I had like the Mandela effect watching this. I could have sworn that was in this movie. I thought I remembered him killing at least one of the impersonators, but I guess I just invented that in my mind. I don't know.
No, I don't know why, but I thought of Freddy versus Jason, and Jason's just killing all the teens in the cornfield.
As you do.
I don't know how to explain it, but the masks just have no definition. It just felt like a blob of a mask where it just was too baggy or loose. Like, say what you want about the newer Halloweens, they were terrible, but the masks were so cool. Like, they really did a good job in those.
It was, I think, like how they reference this a little bit with like, but what do you do to the mask? Like, you cover it in paint and then like run it over with a truck to give it a weathered look, versus just paint on it and then put the mask on and call it a day.
I mean, they didn't spend any money on it, that's for sure, despite the concerns that they allegedly had about it. I mean, Michael in general in this, he's way too small. He's way too short. The hockey pads are clearly visible underneath his clothes. It's bad.
Yeah, that's the difference between me and Michael. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Exactly. You never do when we record. I respect that about you.
It was a bad Michael Myers. Like, he was a bad Michael Myers. How hard could it be to find someone that can fill in a suit and walk?
It's like I said, they filmed this in Salt Lake City. One of the Utah Jazz players had to have been available to play Michael Myers. I can't believe they didn't think of it. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
You know what's not disappointing, though? The opening credits to this movie are perfect. The shots in the credits, I mean, don't get me wrong, the original Halloween has an iconic opening credits with the pumpkin and the skull, but this sets the tone perfectly. It's like that damp, chilly, breezy October feeling. You can just feel it in the air. I actually do like the score in the credits, Anton. I take back what I said. I don't think the rest of the score is great, but I think in the credits, very effective.
Yeah, the fun fact, if you look closely at the pumpkin in the first film, it's supposed to look like Michael killing someone.
Yeah, I think any time that people weren't talking in this movie, it was actually a pretty good movie. So they set it up pretty nice.
What a movie.
Yeah, you're like, the credits, great. I said earlier how HD is not kind to this film. The cinematography, in my opinion, is the biggest downgrade from the first 3 films. They were really missing Dean Cundey here, guys. This is pretty shoddy. I understand, like, replacing Dean Cundey is a tough task, but this looks like it was shot for TV.
It does not look good. Does not.
Again, I wasn't involved in any of the conversations, obviously. I don't know if they spoke to the higher ups, but to me, they never had any plans with this movie to make it a memorable time-standing movie like the first and the second one were, right? Like, this one was like, hey, we can literally just keep printing money by making these that are kind of good, like our competitors are doing, and they did just that. So they sacrificed things like the cinematography and the script just to put some money in their pockets.
Yeah. Not only is Cundy missing here, Anton, it is a different aspect ratio. You could tell immediately. You're like, this is if you didn't know any better, you would think it was a TV movie.
Which, I mean, it's teeter-tottering around that.
It is. Anton, do you like the score?
I do. I don't think it's a perfect score, but I think that it does feel eerie and chilling. Doesn't feel too 80s to me.
How do you compare it to the first three films, though?
The first one does not compare. Second one, of the four, probably compared to, it's probably stronger than 3.
What, really?
Yeah.
You like the score to this better than Halloween 3?
Wait, no, sorry. I do not like this. Sorry, I misspoke. This one, 3 is still better than this one, so this one is the weaker one.
Okay. I was going to say, they're missing John Carpenter here on the score, and it's like, it's okay. I do notice in this score, their decision to bring in the main theme, they use it for like the ambulance appearing. It's like not really effective. It's almost like they made the decision like, this is a pretty boring scene. Let's just throw in the Michael Myers theme here to get the blood pumping.
Effective.
Yeah. It's such a good theme that it did its job. I think the score is just like this movie. It's like delightfully mediocre. You're like, yeah, it's okay.
I mean, I hear the iconic theme song. I get a little excited.
It does its job.
Yeah, it got me going.
Not nearly as gory as I remember. This is like it's not.
I think that's a lot of films though from that era. Nothing. I think maybe it's because special effects and makeup have gotten so much better that my perception of gore, it doesn't feel too like gratuitous. It just feels campy in some aspects. I think definitely in this film, it feels like that.
Yeah, I was trying to think about this when we would have watched this on cable back in the day. They probably didn't need to cut out that much.
No, just even like the scenes and like there were brutal scenes like when Michael snaps generic jock number 1's neck.
Yes. The thumb through the forehead kill in the ambulance is pretty good.
Pretty intense. We already talked about impaled by shotgun.
Right. But no blood.
No blood, just impaled by shotgun. Or what was it? There was the random... There are some bodies that people would find, but it's not clear how they died.
Right.
So more cases of just not gratuitous violence.
No, but it is weird. You can tell where they did the blood, the extra blood shooting. It's like they just splattered the ambulance all over with blood, which doesn't even make sense, but the exterior of the ambulance was covered in blood too.
The driver in the posse getting his neck ripped open, that was pretty intense.
That's probably the goriest shot in the film, right? I would think.
I'm trying to think of other...
A lot of the stuff was off camera or... Yeah, I mean, they didn't show all too much. That had to.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Friday the 13th was far gorier than this. All of them, right? They like emphasized the gore a lot more in those. If this is me remembering it.
Yeah, they had like people getting pitchforked to death and getting stuck in the barn.
I mean, it definitely Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean that
Nightmare on Elm Street, I think takes the cake for the gore.
Lots of blood. Even the first one, like the first one, had a significant amount of blood in it.
That's the one with Johnny Depp getting like blended,
like sucked into the bed or whatever, and then the blood gets spat out.
Iconic. All right, let's move through the plot of Halloween 4. I mean, there's a plot. There is. It's a little loose.
All right. Jamie's an orphan.
They make jokes about it. I just wrote down transferring Michael Myers with 2 nurses, hilarious.
And they just are like conveniently talking about the bloodline over to Michael Myers. He still has a surviving niece that is located at 123 State Street.
Michael's listening the whole time like, this is perfect.
Just for some reason, I also know her social security number and vet's name.
His fist just starts to close.
So great. I think it was really nice of those doctors to fix Michael's eyes after they got shot out at the end of Halloween 2. Very considerate.
Yeah. He moved pretty well for someone that burned alive.
Right, and was blind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Loomis, I mean, we've been talking about Loomis. He's a bumbling fool. It's either a massive character downgrade from the first 2 films, true, or you can see it as hilarious, also true.
Of course it's both. I will stand by the fact that like he's a foil to Michael Myers in the same way that Michael Myers is an insane killer. Loomis is an insane I don't think you could argue he's like a force for good with his tactics.
No. I mean, we joked about it on Halloween too. Remember, he basically gets that teenager killed. Remember when he tells the cops like, that's him, and the car hits him.
Yeah, you know,
Bursts into flames.
I also think without Jamie Lee Curtis, there's really not an adult lead that can really carry the movie through. I mean, Michael Myers is Michael Myers, but you need like a good guy to kind of help move things along. You know, who really knew what was going to happen with Jamie? She's so young; she's like 10 years old. I think they gave this guy a lot more runway to be himself, and it doesn't necessarily mean that was a good thing, but that's kind of what they did.
He's at least smart enough to ramp up the posse after all the cops get killed, and he's just like, "You don't have any cops left.
We can do it. Then
we can do it."
So okay, so when I was watching this, and I completely forgot that whole part happened. One of the new Halloweens, I can't remember which one it was. Something very similar happens, either I think at the hospital or a police station, where they all start like it turns from a Michael Myers movie to some sort of like pro-America movement, and they all start like chanting in the hospital, and then they literally start a posse, and they all start trying to chase down Michael Myers, and that's how like the next one starts, and they all start getting murdered one by one by Michael Myers. That was like the third installment of like the newest trilogy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was the third one. I remember that very vividly.
And I'm like, this is so stupid. Why would they do this? But then I watched Halloween 4. I'm like, wait, they did this 30 years ago, actually. So that's interesting.
Was it funnier in this movie?
It was actually done much better in this movie than the newer one, but I'm not saying it was done well. It just was done better than the other one. Was just so out of nowhere. It was atrocious.
I think it's executed well here, where like he just like convinces the townsfolk like, yeah, you have to go kill this guy, and they're like, yeah,
we do.
You're right.
What you didn't see was off camera was him in his trench coat, just holding a pistol.
with the gloves on, just to complete it. I think the scene where he's in the car after getting picked up hitchhiking by the drunk priest, it's touching. It really is.
Oh, just one of the most character building moments of all time.
They were really going for it here with the acting. I mean, Loomis looks genuinely happy, and then the priest said something which stood out to me, because I don't even think this is a saying. I've never heard anyone say this anymore, but he said, "I knew you were a pilgrim. I saw it as clear as breasts and blue suede shoes."
Yeah, I'm gonna try to bring that back.
Are you gonna try to use that at work during a meeting? We can do life lessons from Under Siege and Halloween 4. There are entire scenes where Loomis is just borderline incoherent. Apparently, Pleasance had a drinking problem in real life. I think you can kind of see some of it on screen here.
Very erratic on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think about what the character of Loomis went through up to this point, right? So if he wants to have a few libations here and there, that's one thing. And maybe that character, maybe he's a method actor. You know what I mean? Maybe some of that took that home, and you have to have a few drinks at home too.
Donald Pleasance really committed.
He's like, you need me to show up drunk? They're like, well, no, that's not in the script. Oh no, I'm suggesting it. Like,
all right, so now I'm a redneck priest coming to pick me up with a bottle of bourbon.
Do you want me to come in? You want me to come in drunk with my gun?
No,
okay.
No.
I have my own. I also found it funny. He refers to. Do you remember when he asked the sheriff, "Where's the schoolhouse?" It's like that's like. Isn't that like an old time term? Like when did
very old term?
Yeah, when did that go out of style? Schoolhouse.
We just dropped house. We just call it school now.
I think it was probably right around the same time people were using the Oregon Trail to get across the country.
Have you all taken? Have you all cured your dysentery?
Oh man, we're appreciating this movie for all the wrong reasons. Like it's not scary at all. No. But Loomis is the best thing about it.
He's like a.
Go ahead, Anton.
I was gonna say he's like he's a drunk, rabid, mad Van Helsing with Michael Myers as his Dracula.
I need to go back and watch 5 because is he like this in 5? I know he gets. I'm pretty
I
sure
think
he
it's
gets killed off
worse.
in 6 with the fire. Doesn't he die to a fire in 6 or something?
He
Well,
dies.
he
in
died in
6.
real life, and I think that's
Yeah.
part of the reason why he died in the 6th one. I don't know though. I could be wrong.
So I'll save the watches for the next installments of the podcast. But I'm
Yeah.
curious to see if he's that unhinged.
I think it gets worse. I do. I mean, look, at least he's committed to stopping Michael Myers in this film. Like he shows zero hesitation for murdering a child.
Nope.
No. What? I want to hear your impersonation of that scene.
No.
It was in slow motion too, which just made it even better.
Just firing.
I like when the sheriff just like karate chops the gun out of his hand.
Judo chop.
The whole Michael wanting to kill his blood relatives thing, I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
It didn't make sense in the first film, to be fair. But
isn't she not? That wasn't established till the second one, right? Like she was just a stranger to him in the first film, right?
Right.
Which worked way better.
Yeah, it worked better because it felt more nuanced. Like, how does evil manifest kind of thing, versus this film where you're just like, oh, it's because they're related, that's why he wants to kill her.
Yeah, they really double down on it here. I mean, at least we get Danielle Harris. Her performance here is really good.
Very committed. Also, just a scream queen in her own right, like Jamie Lee Curtis.
What else was she? She was actually. I actually thought she was good. What else was she in? Was she in any other movies around that time?
She actually was also in the Halloween revival series.
Right.
She played the other survivor.
Yeah, she's been in some stuff, but I mean, like Sean, like she is really good here because you think about it, like if her performance doesn't work, this whole film collapses. She's the main character of the film, and she really does carry it. Because I mean, Loomis is entertaining, but he's so unhinged that you're like, man, this guy's losing his shit.
Just have an alcoholic with a gun showing up to the schoolhouse while she's trying to figure out how to dodge Michael Myers.
All right,
where's the schoolhouse?
Fun fact about Danielle Harris. Have either of you guys watched The Wild Thornberrys?
Yes.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, she
Liza
did the voice. She did the voice work for Debbie Thornberry, Eliza's older sister.
Yeah, the blonde.
Love it.
That's a great show. Oh, now you're going to go on a
good movie too. The Wild Thornberrys movie's pretty good.
But they were just like in an RV traveling around the jungle and other destinations, just like living out of that camper, right?
Yeah, and just hanging out with animals.
Nigel Thornberry.
Nigel
Dugong.
I like the Sheriff Meeker. I said that earlier. Great character. Talk about an actor making the most of a thankless role.
What was it? Beaker and Honeypot?
Yes, that was the name of his deputy, who somehow gets killed. We're not really sure. That's probably the best example of what you were talking about earlier, Anton, where they're just his daughter finds the body, and you're like, what happened? It's not really clear. My favorite part involving Sheriff Meeker, first of all, I just like how he believes Loomis pretty quickly. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, this is a cool guy. But you remember when he hands Brady the shotgun and he tells him to defend the house? He gives him no explanation whatsoever. Doesn't provide any context.
Just like they just board up the house. They just lock all the windows. They're like, later.
Well, that also leads to a funny part. Remember when they can't get out of the house because the door's locked? He's like, we're trapped in this house. Like, just kick a window out.
Okay, let's be fair. He is not the sharpest tool in the shed.
You're right. It's a good point.
He just literally is just looking at every woman in the film like, how can I bang you?
Correct.
That was literally his character.
Look, I can't blame him with the sheriff's daughter. I mean, like, good Lord.
Either the sheriff's daughter or whoever he works with at the drugstore.
Right. Any of them but the Ellie. Is that her name? No, I don't even remember her name. It doesn't matter. Would either of you consider purchasing a Cops Do It by the Book t-shirt?
Yes. It's so funny.
I like that could be a good shirt to rock. Yeah.
Depending on where you are.
If I was at like a horror film convention, I think that would be a really deep cut shirt to wear.
Right. But then as soon as you leave, you'd probably want to take it off.
As soon as I leave, I would probably get beat up.
That cracked me up.
Can we talk about the drugstore for a second? How about when Michael Myers actually does appear in the drugstore with Jamie? She falls back, she smashes the mirror. Everybody crowds her to make sure she's okay. No one can see Michael Myers, but he's just in the reflection of the glass. On the
I'm assuming he teleported, just kind of like the gas station.
He just disappears.
I always interpreted it as this is part of that like psychic connection, and
He wasn't actually there.
he wasn't actually there.
That would make more sense because no one looked that way.
It's not. It is not clear though, is it?
Well, and that's the thing. They never explain it, readdress it in this film. So,
all right. So he definitely teleports at the gas station. We can agree on that, right?
Oh yeah, because he's there and then he's not there.
Right. But if he can do that,
still there.
If he has the ability to teleport, what does he need to steal a car for?
To look really cool while getting away.
And have a pseudo action scene where the gas station blows up and Loomis's stunt double has to dive over some barrels.
If this was a 2000 sequel, Michael Myers would have lit a cigarette and then thrown the cigarette at the gas station.
Michael Myers smoking would be kind of interesting to watch. He could just have it stuck in the mouthpiece of the mask. Oh, I don't think this mask had a mouthpiece. He'd have to like poke one with a knife. Yeah, he could do it. Again, we have to talk about the posse killing one of the townsfolk. It's just comedy gold.
It's pretty hilarious.
Well, that's my question for you both. Like, do you think they intended this to be funny when they were filming it? Because I don't, but it is.
It's hilarious. If you told me film 1 that we're going to have a scene where a small town posse is going to accidentally kill a towns member.
Right.
It's like, what? Did we need the posse in the film?
The 80s
oh yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I think it was different. Stylistically, they like to crap. I don't know. The 80s, they always incorporated random crap like that. I don't think it was needed, but I do think they were taking it seriously.
It seemed like it fit, like it felt like a fraternity posse, like in Porky's or something.
Yeah.
It's a ragtag bunch.
Well, they were taking it seriously, but they were also phoning it in and not spending any money on anything. And that's why I think some of this stuff comes across as funny. I mean, like the other highlight for me, which I think is borderline comedy, is when he kills the guy at the power station and throws him onto the power lines and blacks out the town. It's hilarious.
That is very funny.
Larry, what was his name? Larry or Chuck or something like that? Just chucks him. Like 40 feet.
What does the guy say to him? He's like, "Don't be trying any of that Halloween shit. I'm calling the cops."
He said the thing.
I don't know how to explain it. But that interaction between Michael Myers and Larry, the cable guy or the electric guy, it felt like if anyone's ever played Skyrim, any of the Elder Scrolls games, it felt like a conversation with like an NPC when you're walking through town. And you just keep like berating him and like asking questions, and then they get so mad they just like stop and then turn around and walk away. That's what it felt like.
Good call. No, that is very NPC dialogue.
So during the showdown at the house, right, where Michael shows up and starts killing people, we know Loomis is trying to go like find the schoolhouse in his own words. Where does the sheriff go? Because he disappears from the film for like 15 minutes.
Well, the sheriff's trying to prevent more deaths in the town, right? He's like, the power's out, we have a killer out loose, and people are in a panic. So,
did they explain it? Because I don't remember it.
Doesn't he find out that someone just died because the townspeople shot the guy in the bush?
Oh, is that it?
Right.
Okay,
so
okay.
That's what he's like, I gotta go calm down this posse. Or whatever the heck's going on.
I gotta go calm that thing down.
Damn it, Loomis.
It's all funny. I mean, Brady getting killed, pretty memorable. The truck chase scene is, again, it's like pretty funny. And then the end of the film, not the very end, but like Michael getting shot and falling into the mine shaft, unintentionally hilarious.
The gun sound effects in this film, what did I tell you? Like they went through the stockpile of all the sound effects and they're like, get me the sound of a gun firing into a dumpster. That's the exact sound effect I want for every gunshot.
You're right, Anton. It sounded like gunshot effects from like Westerns, World War II movies. Sean, I mean, you watch this with like good headphones on. Like none of the gunshots like match the firing of the guns. It's so funny.
The
machine gun for a revolver.
The guns did not sound great. The explosions sounded very like shallow too. They just weren't like good sounding explosions. The sound mixing was not great in this.
There's no squibs. Did you notice that too? You don't really see any bullet impacts.
Nope. And then at the end with Michael, how many times did he get shot?
They were missing a lot.
Yeah, they weren't doing a good job.
No, they weren't. But he falls into this mine shaft. Did you feel bad for Michael a little bit?
Like falling into the mine shaft?
Yeah.
You think he's just misunderstood?
I felt bad for Michael in general that they had to continue the series. So yeah,
Right.
I felt bad for him.
If you ignore that scene where he gets shot up and falls into the mine shaft, he doesn't take a lot of damage in this one. Like, nobody really, think about the first couple films. Like, he gets shot, he gets stabbed, he gets burned, all this stuff. He gets the coat hanger through the eye. It's like nothing like that here.
Did he fall down a house in this one, or did he jump off the side of the house?
I don't even think they show it. They just show him like coming around the side.
Oh, he's like, I'll take the stairs like a sensible person.
Maybe he teleported again.
The first one, he falls out the window. This one, I don't think he actually ever falls. And he dodges shotgun bullets coming up the stairs.
The first one, he gets a coat hanger through the eye. He gets stabbed with a knitting needle. He gets shot 6 or 7 times, which we talked about. Then he falls. The second one, he gets shot through both eyes. And then, he's killed in the fire. And, he cheats death here. Yeah, I kind of missed that. Michael taking damage. Best thing about this film, guys, it's 88 minutes. Tight.
Yeah.
Yep. It's tight, and when it gets to the very end, I actually did feel like I want to see the next one. Like, it actually did a really good job of making me interested in seeing the next one.
Did you start watching it yet?
No.
No.
Not that excited.
Yeah, you're going to wait till next year. Anything else you guys want to add? I think we're at the end here. We can give our ratings.
I just want to comment on the ending. I think that I agree with you, Sean. You mentioned earlier how unique it is to have like an ending where the legacy of Michael Myers is continuing on based on if you're part of the bloodline. That actually is like kind of interesting, and I think the execution of that is really important in how well that comes off on screen. But I think that they end up revisiting something similar in the last Halloween revival, right? With Michael's apprentice taking on the evil.
They do. So full disclosure, the most recent Halloween, when he was living in a sewer, Michael Myers, I had to stop watching it. I actually could not watch that movie for more than 25, 30 minutes. But yes, they did attempt something similar where this outcast kid started becoming like the Michael Myers, but I don't know how it ended. I turned it off.
Yeah, and I think like that's this film. It's like good concepts, just execution was not fully funded or fully thought out.
Shoddy.
Yeah, listen, is this the best Michael Myers Halloween movie? Absolutely not. Does it have some good kills? Does it show a lot of Michael Myers? Is it a good time? Absolutely yes. Right? It was stacking up, like we said before, against other juggernauts at the same exact time. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist, which I didn't even think about. So this is their version of kind of competing with that. And you could argue that those other franchises were doing the same exact type of thing. So was it perfect? No, definitely not. But it did enough for me to want to watch the 5th one. If I was alive at that point, I would want to go back and see the next one in a year or two.
So what's your rating then, Sean? That sounds like you were getting into that.
Okay. Well, sure. Spoiler. Listen, I liked it. I'll watch it again for sure at some point. My life. This definitely encouraged me to do it, the podcast. I'd give it again, it was fun. Okay, gore. Plot was not great, but I had a great time the entire way. I think a very solid C- is my rating.
I said to you both, this movie's delightfully mediocre. How do you quantify something that you find hilariously entertaining, but only call it mediocre? Well, we've kind of been talking about it quite a bit throughout this episode, right? This movie is entertaining to me for the wrong reasons. It is a horror movie that is in no way scary to me. And just for the record, I still find the first Halloween movie like genuinely creepy. There's scenes in there in the first film where you feel like you're watching a murder and it's like uncomfortable to watch, that means it's a successful horror movie, right? This movie's just funny, and I enjoy it for that. But it shouldn't be funny, and I have to give it like major dings for that when it comes to like my rating of this, Anton. This is one of the first sequels that I think of when someone says mediocre. The last time we talked about a Halloween movie a year ago, I dismissed this as being bad. I don't think this is bad because of how entertaining I found it to be. It is diminishing returns. Yes, it was nice to see Michael Myers back. He does plenty of Michael Myers stuff in this film. You're right, Sean, there's some good kills. there's some characters I actually like. Like Loomis is entertaining. I mean, probably not for the right reasons. I like the Danielle Harris performance. I like the new sheriff. This film shouldn't exist because Michael and Loomis both die at the end of the second one, making this very silly. But as far as slasher movies go, it holds my attention the entire time. I don't know if I would go out of my way to watch it again, but I certainly would watch it again. It's the fourth entry in a slasher series. Like, this is probably the best you could expect for something like that. By this point, the series was already descending into the territory of self-parody. But I think this movie does manage to stand up on its own for at least trying something original with the psychological, magical legacy of Michael Myers being a killer. And it is fun to watch. It is a worthy installment in this series. I'm going to go see.
So this film, while it is the fourth installment as a franchise horror sequel, technically it's still number 3 in the Michael Myers series.
Good call.
And I did just want to say there, having said that and thinking of that, when I compare it to other films with franchise horror sequels, Nightmare on Elm Street by Film 3 was pretty terrible. And same thing for Friday the 13th. So even just by comparison to its contemporaries, like, I'd say actually like already much more entertaining. And I think part of that is because it hasn't quite delved yet too far away from the elements that brought it success, which was focusing, actually like recentering and focusing on Michael Myers back in this world with the ever unhinged Dr. Loomis. And I feel like with the new entry of Jamie, I was actually really impressed again with Danielle Harris. And despite the lack of care to small details, there was such an entertainment to the film, and that made it really endearing and entertaining. And I think that I stand by my statement earlier in that I think there's a lot of really cool concepts in this film. It's just not executed well. But in terms of horror sequels, I think this is actually does a much better job than what you would typically expect of like a third or fourth entry into a franchise. So actually, it's actually amazing how much quality there is in the film considering that. It's not a perfect film, but I do find myself like saying I will come back to this. I think this is like this is definitely on the spooky Halloween film train, which, by the way, as of this recording, I'm eagerly putting together like my playlist for Halloween films to be watching this upcoming spooky season. So let's go. But yeah, this particular film, I have to give it just it's a C- for me. I think that there are bits and pieces of it that really need some improvement, but overall, like, yeah, very just pretty average film.
It's one of the most fun C ratings I've ever given a movie.
I enjoy it, but
I think we're pretty fair on this. Like it's flawed.
Yeah, I mean, for the integrity of the bond, right, and other movies we filmed and reviewed, I can't give much hype.
No, I believe me, I get it. Well, that's it for Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Sean, love having you on for all different kinds of movies, but especially Halloween movies.
I love being with us. This was a good one.
This was
really
fun.
Gave me a good excuse to go back, rewatch a movie that I wrongfully watched several months ago, maybe over a year ago. So happy to give it another shot. I'm excited to possibly do Halloween 5 because I actually have no idea what that one's about. I'm pretty sure he takes his mask off in that one, if I'm not mistaken, but that could also be Halloween 6. I don't know. So I need to rewatch some of these.
A lot of them blend together.
They do.
Yeah, great having you on. We will absolutely have you back in a year for Halloween 5. Hopefully much sooner before then for something else. Really looking forward to Halloween this year. I'm going to go trick-or-treating with my daughter.
It's a good one. You guys are going to have a good Halloween. The first one's fun.
Yeah, it's I'm really excited to begin the tradition of getting as much candy as I can with the help of my daughter.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Use them.
Well, anything to add before we close this out?
Nothing here.
Doesn't sound like it.
No. Stay spooky, everyone.
Stay spooky, everyone. Have a happy Halloween for those of you who celebrate it. That is it for this edition of Why Wasn't It Better? Thanks for listening, and see you next time.